Greetings everyone, and welcome to my review of the LEGO Marvel Studios The Infinity Saga Black Panther Dragon Flyer. So let's open it up and get it built and jump into it. And here I have the Dragon Flyer itself in the weird stand position that I initially, when I first saw images of this, thought would be the best way to display it. Having it in hand, my opinion has kind of changed on that. But in any case, you can actually see a lot of the size of it and just generally just a lot of the features right here. So there's already the little blades, which are just mini wings that go underneath. You have really nice detailing when it comes to the underside of the blue, which is carried over across the entire thing. Looks really good. You do have a small little stand here, which honestly doesn't work as well as I wish it did. The first time I tried to do this, it stood perfectly. No worries, no adjustment needed. But just to set up this shot, it took me about 5 minutes. And that's the annoying thing, is that it is inconsistent and a bit fiddly if you don't get it perfect the first time. That's not really a negative towards it, and realistically this is actually a really good model. But that is just something, if you're wanting this pose, you may want to build a special stand to hold it back from the back of it, or I already have the wings pretty far back as is, but you may want to put them even further back if you want to maintain this position without adding any extra pieces. But as you can see, this is the head cockpit sort of deal, and lowering this down and putting it into the standard Dragonfly position, it looks great. You do have stud shooters on the side, which I managed to catch it, there we go. But yeah, it's like they can go pretty far. I'm not huge on stud shooters, and unfortunately this one is pretty heavily built into the actual structure. It is the same on both sides, by the way. I may modify that to take them away at some point, but as is, I don't really mind too much, and I can always just envision them, especially with the blue energy at the end of them, I can always envision them as some sort of high-tech fancy lighting. It's an option. I'm not huge on stud shooters in general, but I can deal with them in this. When it comes to the wings, they are all completely posable with ball joints. You can also move the end tip because they are just held on as studs. There's no real reason to change them, but that is an option. You can move them pretty much anywhere around, but they do run into each other. You can get some weird posing with them. I just try and find a pretty symmetrical position that looks like flight and leave it like that. When it comes to the little blades, they do also move, which once again, I just kind of find a place where they kind of look correct, and they do move pretty regularly. It's pretty difficult to actually get them to stay in a decent position, which is kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's fine. And of course, I mentioned the stand before, well, what I was calling a stand, the tail feather thing, it moves. I don't really think there's a proper position for it to be in, and also it is very loosely connected on. It does fall off pretty regularly, and that was a major issue with standing it as well, is that it's not the strongest connection ever, only 4 studs for the entire weight of it, not great. You can, if you move these little pieces here, move these energy bars, but there's no reason to, and realistically, you're going to leave those like that. And as I showed before, you do have a hinged joint at the neck, clips together very nicely, and that just leaves us with the cockpit, which fits one figure pretty comfortably. You do have to lean them back a little bit, but it's fine overall. And then in there, you can see there are 2 little stickers. The only interior decoration is those 2 stickers, and then there's of course more stickers on the outside, one on each side and then one down the center. They look good. I think you could probably get away with not including them probably, but for the sake of the actual build, I think they make sense to just keep on. But yeah, the cockpit's alright. I like the printing on the actual glass. Looks really good, and generally, just a really nice little build. I really think it works. It's the main Infinity Saga set that I've been interested in, and I'm very glad to have it. Moving on to the figures, I think it makes the most sense to begin with what I see as being the main character for this set, Black Panther. Now, I do believe this is a new design for the Black Panther minifigure, with the purple energy going across it, though I do believe it's going to also appear in another set. I'm not completely sure of that, but I do believe it's not exclusive. When it comes to the printing, it is actually real well done. And overall, as someone who doesn't own a Black Panther minifigure already, I'm very happy with this. It works very well as both a comic book or an MCU version, which obviously it is based off the films. The details are very, very clean, and my stand is terrible for actually showing off this, but the printing does go onto the back, which, once again, really nice design overall. The silvers, the purples, the blacks, it all works really well together, and then on the top you have the little cat ears, which are very interesting to me. I'm going to knock this over again. But yeah, they're not really that visible from most angles from the front, because they tell you to put it at the back. I'm not huge on that, but I'm not going to bother turning them around, because I do think it makes more sense for them to be at the back. They're just not as visible. And yeah, overall, very nice figure. Next up, we have Shuri, who, of course, is supposed to be flying the actual dragonflyer, should I say, and very, very well detailed. I believe this is the only true exclusive figure of the set, and the detailing is phenomenal, all the way from the face, which has really ornate design to it, which I wish I could get like a better angle on that. But yeah, the little I guess tattoos, tribal paint, something like that, are really well visualized in this figure, and overall I think it just fits the character from the film to a ridiculous extent. Her body print is pretty basic, but it does actually suit the character, and it is pretty accurate to the film. And then turning her around, the print does extend to the back, and also she does have a alternate, more angry face, which I'm not a huge fan of personally. I prefer the happier look for Shuri, but overall pretty good. And then, of course, you've already noticed, but she does come with what, is essentially supposed to be her Panther gauntlet blaster things from the movie. They're pretty basic. They're not a new mold or anything. They don't look like the actual thing from the film, but I can deal with that. I think that is a perfectly reasonable, look. And overall, it does actually look correct. Whether it's accurate, arguable, it's really not, really. But, without a new mold, this is the best we're going to get. It's what I've been using for my mock, I guess, of Shuri, my own version of it. And, yeah, overall, really like it. I love the Beatrix hair as well, in black, which is the original Beatrix colour. Very nice figure, overall. And then, finally, because every LEGO set, regardless of what theme or what set or whatever it actually is, needs to have a villain, we have a Chitauri soldier, warrior, something like that. It's just a Chitauri according to the box, but it's a specific type because they do look different depending on which one they are. This is the one that we've seen more commonly for the Endgame sets, as well as, I believe, appearing in some of the Infinity War sets, and will just continue to appear in Infinity Saga stuff for the rest of time, I'm sure. And overall, it's a huge step up over the one from the Avengers, which is the only other Chitauri I actually have. And generally, I really like the design. It's very accurate. The colours are very accurate. A bit boring, but that is just kind of how they look within the film. So I can't really, complain too much. Just moving the gun out of the way so you can see the full print. I'll just remove the gun out, in fact. And, it looks pretty good. I like it. Turning around, you can see the little spine work, the metal on the back of the head. It looks good. It's a solid figure of a Chitauri if you wanted one for whatever reason, don't have one already. It's definitely a good one. And then, of course, you get this Chitauri blaster. It's made from the base of the Overwatch weapons, which is something that I didn't have yet, so I'm happy to pick one of those up. And just a bunch of pearl gold parts. I got really lucky with this. I didn't get any of the old pearl gold, though I do understand that some of these sets are going to have a mixture of old and new pearl gold. So just think about that when you're purchasing this. You may get mixed gold. It's something that you probably will look out on, but you never know, really, and it can get pretty annoying if you're wanting consistency across everything. And on that note, that is it for this review. I really like this set. I'm very happy I picked it up. As I say, it's one of the few Infinity Saga sets that I actually have any interest in, and as someone who didn't own either a Shuri or a Black Panther or an updated Chitauri for that matter, I'm really happy with this purchase. But that's going to be it. So thanks for watching, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Bye!